By the end of 2026, a company with 50 employees will be able to operate like one with 500. And it's already happening. This isn't hype. This isn't some tech bro prediction about a future that never comes. This is what's unfolding right now in real businesses with real revenue. AI agents have crossed a line. The early AI tools couldn't maintain context outside a single conversation. Ask it something Monday, come back Thursday, and it had no memory of what you'd asked before. Now they do. They remember your entire business. And at the same time, they stopped just generating text and started actually doing things. Logging into your CRM, sending invoices, updating records. OpenAI's Operator, Claude's computer use, Google's Workspace agents. They all landed in 2025, and businesses figured out pretty quickly that these weren't chatbots anymore. These are workers that don't sleep, don't take holidays, don't need benefits, and can be copied infinitely. So what happens when you can spin up a new employee in minutes instead of months? Entire departments start to look different, or they disappear altogether. Let's talk about where this is actually happening. Customer support was always going to be the first domino. Klarna made headlines when they announced their AI assistant was doing the work of 700 full-time support agents. That was back in 2024. By late 2025, they'd cut another 40% on top of that. Their AI now handles around 2/3 of all customer service chats. Resolution times dropped from 11 minutes to under 2. And here's the thing people miss. It's not just about cost savings. Klarna says customer satisfaction actually went up. The AI doesn't get frustrated, doesn't have a bad day, doesn't put you on hold while it checks with a supervisor. But Klarna's a tech company. You'd expect them to be early. What's wild is watching traditional businesses follow. Telecom companies, insurance firms, even local councils. Octopus Energy in the UK reported that their AI was handling the equivalent of 250 human agents back in 2023. By late 2025, that number had more than doubled. The pattern is always the same. Start with simple queries. Train on historical tickets. Let the AI handle Tier 1 support. Then watch as Tier 1 becomes Tier 2 becomes, we don't really need that many people anymore. The humans who remain, they're handling the genuinely complex stuff, the edge cases, the angry customers who've specifically asked to talk to a person. Everyone else gets an agent that's available at 3 a.m. on Christmas Day. Here's where it gets interesting. Finance departments have always been expensive. You need people who understand accounting, compliance, tax law. People who can spot errors in spreadsheets before they become audit nightmares. Now look at what's happening. A mid-sized logistics company in Ohio, about 200 employees, replaced their entire accounts payable process with a system built from multiple AI agents working together. Invoice comes in. Agent reads it, matches it to the purchase order, flags discrepancies, approves payment, posts to the ledger. The whole thing takes seconds instead of days. They went from a team of 6 in AP to one person who essentially supervises the agents and handles exceptions. That's an 83% reduction in headcount for a single function. And this isn't just AP, expense reports, financial reconciliation, monthly close processes. Companies are reporting they've cut their close time from 2 weeks to 4 days, using AI agents that work around the clock during period end. The Big Four accounting firms are all over this. Deloitte has been deploying autonomous audit agents since mid-2025. PwC announced a $1 billion investment in AI. They're not doing this because it's trendy. They're doing it because their clients are demanding it, and because the firms that don't adapt will lose those clients to the ones that do. This is the part nobody wants to talk about. AI agents don't just replace individual contributors, they collapse management layers. Think about what a lot of middle management actually does. They coordinate, they check in on progress, they compile status reports, they make sure information flows between teams, they escalate issues. Agents can do all of that, automatically, in real time. A startup called Orbi AI is building what they call decision agents that learn how your company actually makes decisions. Not the org chart version, the real version. Who actually needs to sign off on what? Where deals get stuck? Which approvals are rubber stamps? Once the agent learns that, it can route decisions automatically, skip the unnecessary meetings, flag only what genuinely needs human judgment. The companies adopting this aren't just seeing cost savings, they're seeing speed. Decisions that used to take a week of back and forth emails now happen in hours. And here's the uncomfortable truth. A lot of middle management exists because humans are slow and forgetful. We need coordinators because we can't process everything ourselves. When AI can process everything, who coordinates the coordinators? If you work in marketing, you've probably noticed your job changing already. Content generation, ad copy, email sequences, social media posts. A lot of this can be automated now, not perfectly, but good enough for first drafts, good enough for A/B test variants, good enough for the stuff that used to take a junior marketer 2 days. But that's just the beginning. The real shift is in what I'd call autonomous campaign management. Companies are deploying agent systems that don't just create content. They analyze performance, adjust targeting, reallocate budget, and optimize creative. All without human intervention. HubSpot released tools in late 2025 that let small businesses run entire email nurture campaigns with minimal human oversight. The AI decides who to email, when, with what message, based on continuous analysis of what's actually working. Sales is following the same trajectory. AI agents that research prospects, personalize outreach, schedule meetings, handle objections in chat, and only hand off to a human when someone's actually ready to buy. The best salespeople, they're more productive than ever because they're only talking to qualified leads who've already been warmed up by agents. The average salespeople, companies are realizing they don't need as many of them. I want to be clear about something. This isn't a story about robots coming for your job. That framing is lazy. It's a story about what businesses can accomplish with fewer people. And that changes everything. Small companies can now compete with big ones. A 5-person startup can have the operational capability of a 50-person company from 2020. That's not an exaggeration. I've talked to founders who are running businesses that would have required 20 employees 5 years ago. But it also means the premium on genuinely human skills is going up. Creativity, judgment, relationship building. The ability to navigate ambiguity and make calls when the data isn't clear. If your job is mostly information processing and coordination, you need to be thinking about this. Not panicking, thinking. Because the businesses that figure this out first will have a massive advantage. And the people who learn to work alongside these agents, who become the human in the loop that makes the whole thing work, they'll be more valuable than ever. The shift is already happening. Denying it won't slow it down, but understanding it might help you stay ahead of it. That's what this channel is about. Cutting through the noise and showing you what's actually changing in business, not what might change someday. If that's useful to you, subscribe. More on this coming soon.